Anthony Grasso here, bringing you financial news you can use. In this video, we're going to go over the current state of the stimulus updates as of December 9th, 2020. And as always, smash that like button down below and consider subscribing if you like to hear updates on stimulus, market news, stock market investing, real estate investing, financial news that you can use. So let's get right into it. So as of yesterday, my update yesterday was there was a $908 billion bipartisan proposal. So let me briefly go over. There's three proposals right now that are being talked about. Now there is nothing in writing right now. So they're just proposals that are little details coming out. So there's nothing really in paper that we can really examine on what's in the proposal. So let's look at before the election. Before the election, Nancy Pelosi had a $2.4 trillion proposal. You had Mitch McConnell way down here at $500 billion. So 2.4 trillion, 500 billion. And then the White House at the time was like, okay, well, let's go for 1.9 trillion. The White House didn't want all that fat for state and local governments. That's the word trying to strip out from the 2.2 to 2.4, however you calculate it, and wanted 1.9. That was before the election. Now, after the election, all of that is gone. Mitch McConnell was still basically at $500 billion. And then now the bipartisan support team yesterday was like, we have a proposal for $908 billion for a bipartisan proposal. Well, the White House just came out with $916 billion. But is it enough? So Mnuchin offered limited details on it, but he told Bloomberg specifically the proposal includes a one-time $600 stimulus check. So now that the White House's $916 billion plan, they wiped out unemployment, so there's no more unemployment. The $1,200 stimulus checks now is back to $600 per person. So instead of getting a $1,200 check for you, $1,200 check for your spouse, $2,400, now you'd be left with $600 stimulus check back and forth. So, and then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer endorsed the $908 compromise, but called it progress. So initially they called it progress, and McConnell agreed to back the $916 billion offer, but maintained that their ongoing bipartisan negotiations are the best path to the deal. So McConnell is saying, hey, to move forward, we have to have bipartisan support for the deal. Excuse me. So members of the House and Senate have been engaged in good faith negotiations and continue to make progress, they said in the joint statement. So they're making progress, but are they taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, or 2 steps back, 1 step forward? Let's look at Steve Mnuchin's statement yesterday. So this came out from Steve Mnuchin yesterday. So let's bring that up. He said specifically he spoke with Nancy Pelosi at 5 p.m. So this was last night. And on behalf of the president, he presented the offer, and it was slightly larger package than the bipartisan proposal, $908 billion. And it included state and local government money, and it also had liability protection. So state and local government funding and liability protection. So it's like, hey, we had this good deal on the road. So, and they look forward to having an agreement. Now let's see Nancy Pelosi's response to this. While it is progress that Leader McConnell has signed on the $916 billion offer based upon the bipartisan framework, the president's proposal will cut unemployment insurance by $140 billion compared to the framework is unacceptable. So where does that leave us right now? There is no deal to be had as of today, December 9th at noon Eastern time. So what she was talking about was the unemployment insurance going from $180 billion down to $40 billion. And she was like, that is completely unacceptable. We're back at basically the skinny version at $500 billion, which Mitch McConnell basically So as of right now, there's still talks. So stay tuned for that. And let's sum it up a little bit, for us today. So they're rushing to strike this, to try to strike a deal right now and say, let's get what we can right now. And then when President-elect Biden takes office, we'll figure out the rest later. So do what we can now, get some support to the people, because it's going to take a few weeks to 4 weeks to even get the checks to Americans anyways. So, it's set and everything's set to expire. So, everything I told you about in the previous video that expiring at the end of the month is still expiring. So there's 12 million Americans. So get this, 12 million Americans are set to lose their unemployment benefits right here. 12 million the day after Christmas, because it's like a week, in the rears. And the eviction moratoriums right here for renters and protections for student borrowers are set to elapse. Now, the student borrowers, now that's been extended to January 31st, so we don't really have to worry about them. So today, they're going to be voting on temporary funding measure to keep the federal government running till December 18th. So today, they're voting on that. That gives lawmakers right now an extra 1 week to strike a deal. So they basically have another week before Christmas right now. For one more week, it's December 9th, so 7 more days, on the omnibus spending bill that is expected to include COVID-19 relief. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to have all these updates as they come. And wow. So a lot going on. No agreement. So today's update can be summed with no agreement. But I'll leave you with that until the next stimulus update bill. And we'll also have videos on real estate investing, stock market investing, and any other kind of market news that are happening out there that can benefit you. So slash that like button, like I said in the beginning, and then subscribe if you want all the great content that I provide. So, that was a lot of information. So stay with me on the next video. Ciao.